Welcome to the WACO Experience, an American story.
We, the people.
With your host, D. Scott Smith.
In order to form a more perfect union.
Interviews with leaders in business, government, and nonprofit organizations.
Promote the general welfare.
Jobs, products and services, and infrastructure for strong communities. Secure
the blessings of liberty.
The WACO Experience is an American story, a story of communities across America. It is your story.
I love Waco in Central Texas. It is growing. I think there's an opportunity here for anybody, for a small business owner, for a family, even for, as I call it, your senior years.
We live in an on-demand world. When I was growing up, radio and television shows aired at specific days and times. If you missed it, well, you can wait for the rerun. Today, we can time shift when we enjoy our favorite programs. Video on our phones or TV at night. Audio in our cars or when we're out for a walk. I've always been fascinated by radio. People connect through stories, and stories are best told in the human voice. My father grew up listening to radio dramas. He told me he preferred them to television because he could do something else at the same time, such as building model airplanes. Today we hear from Stephanie Beaty of Rogue Media Networks. This company is producing many video and audio shows from the top of the Alico building in downtown Waco. I'm your host, D. Scott Smith. Each week I bring you stories from leaders in business, government, and nonprofit organizations. You can learn more about this program, our sponsors, and the podcast version of this show by going to our website, thewacoexperience.com. This program is made possible by sponsors: White Bluffs Construction, Custom Building, Home Remodeling. Call Seth at 254-227-2002 and schedule White Bluffs Construction to build your patio, deck, pergola, or maybe you're ready to build that custom home. Visit their website, whitebluffsconstruction.com. Republic Laser Therapy. Emma Gaskin was facing a debilitating back injury. She was told surgery was her only option. But the truth is, there was another solution. Now, Emma's mission is to bring drug-free pain relief to those who need it most. Call Emma today at 254-433-7790. Learn more and book a complimentary consultation at republiclasertherapy.com. Ray's Automotive. Cars are complicated machines and we depend on them every day. Ray makes it easy to keep your car in top condition. When my car needed service, I called Ray. He and his team of certified technicians demonstrate Christian values in business. Call 254-495-7810 or get a quote online at fixmycarray.com. Heart of Texas TV Indoor Billboards. My friend JB James Battle, former helicopter pilot for the U.S. Army, and his team at Hot TV amplify your brand where it matters most. Be seen where your customers eat, work, shop, and play. Learn more on the web at hotdigitaltv.com. Quality Cabinets. Your home is an extension of your personality. Smooth, clean, and elegant. Quality Cabinets is the perfect choice for the modern aesthetic. Visit the Design Center at 720 New Dallas Highway in Waco. Quality Cabinets are available for immediate delivery. Call 254-744-0938 and visit the website qualitycabinetstx.com. D. Scott here. We are back at the Baylor Club, sitting out on the patio overlooking just the kind of an overcast day, but it's still a nice day. Crazy to be such a day here coming up to Thanksgiving. It's warm, a little humid, but still just a gorgeous time to be out and about. I understand the monarch butterflies are making their migration about this time of year. Good to be in Central Texas.
Sweating.
My guest, Stephanie Beaty, she is with Rogue Media.
Yes, sir.
But we're going to talk about the background and what brought you into Rogue Media. But first of all, let's get an overview. What is Rogue Media?
Well, I like to call it a podcast streaming platform. We represent over 250 podcasts nationwide, and we focus mainly a lot on sports as well as other material or other shows. I represent our local shows. Pete Souza, Sports also works for ESPN. He's a play-by-play for ESPN. You'll see him a lot around Big 12 football as well as Baylor basketball. recently. So he's a big part of our organization. Then there's Matt Mosley, who my background is in radio, which I know we'll get to. And so I represent him as well. And he's talks a little Cowboys, talks a little Big 12, but he went to Baylor, big Bear fan. Everybody in the Waco area knows who he is, so I represent him as well. And then when you go to the music outlet, there's Zach Owens. He was, on-air talent for a local radio show here in Waco for iHeartMedia for 25 plus years, and I have the fortunate opportunity to work with him on a daily basis. And then Ann Harder, who was anchor here 4 years for Channel 25, she also has a podcast. And all these shows are streamed on YouTube. And that's just kind of the way where the world is going these days. And then we also represent 365 Sports. That's our organization. David Smoke's been in the community, and he's all high school sports, Big 12 sports. So we're just really tapping into the sports arena, and I absolutely love it.
I had a chance to be on the Zach Owens show, but he was gone that day. Jim Alvarado was the
Jim Alvarado, know him very well.
Yeah, Jim was great. We had him as a guest on this show as well.
Yes, Jim's great. I've worked with him in radio, so we go way back. So yeah, a lot of these people that you probably mentioned, I'll probably know.
It's a lot of fun. I love communities where there's this fraternity feel.
You feel like it, right? Like you're in this fraternity sorority, and when you see them out on the streets or wherever you're at, you pick up where you left off. Like there's just so much to talk about.
It was fun to be able to spend time with Jim on the Zach Owens show.
Yes,
and that's recorded over at the Backyard.
Yes, every morning, Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. Backyard Bar and Grill, downtown Waco. He brings on a country guest. Sometimes not even country artist. It could be a rock and roll artist, but it's usually acoustic set. And then he'll focus on a business or organization in the community, which is great.
It's fun to see how things have changed from just pure broadcast to the streaming services to on demand.
It's a different world than how I started my career. It's a totally different world, and it's adjusting every day.
So you mentioned 250
different podcasts nationwide. Mm-hmm. Anywhere from crime to, we just picked up one that's all about Waco nonprofits. And you and I were talking before the show. We have the biggest nonprofit organizations per capita in the country. I had no idea. I mean, there's probably nonprofits out there I haven't even heard of yet. But I'm sure you, Scott, will find them.
I went through in doing the proposal to create this show in the greater Waco area, 330,000 people. Mm-hmm. Over 40,000 government employees, not including the federal folks, and the over 1,600 nonprofit organizations.
It's crazy, right? Yeah. That's a lot of numbers you're speaking right now. And I didn't do well in math, so I know it's a lot.
It's a lot of folks.
Yeah.
There's a lot going on. We have a 10% higher population of veterans in McLennan County than in the average county across the U.S. Central Texas, this particular region, is a special place.
It is a special place. I've been here for 15 years now, so it's special to me. I've met my husband here. We have a great life, and have made some very good friends in the community.
So let's talk about your journey into Rogue.
Well, my background is in actually radio and television, mainly radio. I started 19 interning. I went to college at a private liberal arts school in LA and worked there, internship at a CBS affiliate station there in LA. Learned a lot. I basically served coffee and burritos, I felt like, but I paid attention.
And which school did you go to?
I went to the Master's College. It's a liberal arts Christian school. Actually, crazy, I went on a music scholarship. I grew up in the church. My dad's a preacher. My brother is a preacher, so I grew up singing in the church, and I was fortunate enough to have a full ride scholarship in vocals. But when I got to my theory classes, this isn't for me. So I ended up majoring in psychology, which I don't use really, but kind of, and minoring in communications. And by God's grace, I was able to pass college. Let's just put it that way. And I got into media and just fell in love with it. That's where I started. And through the years, I've worked on the East Coast, the West Coast, now here in Waco. Got here in 2010 with a radio group called Prophecy Media. Helped start a radio station here. It was called Power 108. and worked with a friend of mine, Q Myers, who is now with ESPN and out in Vegas with the Raiders. And we started a pop station, and it just grew from there. And then I just recently left M&M Broadcasters. I was on ESPN Central Texas. I was on air and did sales. So I kind of, had my foot in every direction, including promotions. Enjoyed my time there. And then Corey Dickman came to me from Rogue Media, and a light bulb went off and just felt like it was the right time to transition over to Rogue Media. Absolutely love it. And I am old, so traditional, advertising and stuff. The world is changing. The way you get the news out there, the way you watch things. Everybody, maybe not everybody, but the majority of, I would say, the population, even in the world, you either have Prime, you have Netflix, you have Hulu, and so you have YouTube. And so that's kind of the direction that this world is going to, is streaming and podcasting. And I always use the Kelsey Brothers, The Heights podcast as an example, or even Seth Rogen, who is the #1 podcast around the country. Who knew? Who knew, right? And so not only are you listening on your podcast platforms, but you're also viewing on all your YouTube channels and other channels that may offer, your podcast. So it's great. I love it. Different, but love it. I'm just embracing the podcast streaming world.
The whole broadcast world has changed so much.
Yes.
I was fascinated by radio when I was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
My dad went to college late after the Army. And so I was 9 years old. He was rebuilding the college radio station.
Wow.
And so I'm hanging around. Upstairs, Shepherd Hall at Oregon State University was the radio station.
Mm-hmm.
Downstairs was television. I really wasn't interested in the television,
Mm-hmm.
but I loved the radio. When I went to Oregon State, then I spent a year as a jazz DJ. That was so much fun. It was also the time when all the stations were being consolidated,
Mm-hmm.
being purchased. I couldn't see a future for me in the media at the time. So I went into business, but then the world changed, as you said, and podcasting and live streaming
Mm-hmm.
and the tools became available for us mortals, right? We
Right.
didn't need, in fact, my buddy Steve Dotto, he's up in Canada. He had a TV program, Dotto Tech,
Mm-hmm.
early 80s, showing people how to use their IBM PC.
Mm-hmm.
And he shows a picture of the 20, 30 people that it took to create an episode
Right.
of Dotto Tech. Now it's him, his computer, a microphone, and a camera.
It's crazy. Right.
And he produces the same quality, same type of content.
Mm-hmm.
So the world has changed,
Definitely.
but I think for the better.
I do too. Back when I grew up, there was no television. I mean, there was no television. There was no iPhone. There was no, in my 20s going to college, man, I was something if you had a pager, right? And then you look at technology and how it just is grown. And I foresee the future that this is the way to go. I do. And it just gets bigger and bigger. And everyone is like, well, it's just for the younger generation. Well, let me tell you something. It is not. There are grandmas across the country who tune into podcasts who are doing them themselves. Take TikTok, for example. I don't know if you know this, but it's streaming, right? And there's a group of ladies called the Groovy Grannies. And I love it because they'll post, just little clips, and then they'll even do a whole 15-minute segment of just everyday life, what they do as a granny or giving you advice. And I think it's great. It's for all ages.
So you mentioned Rogue Media's got 250 podcasts
Yes,
right now, and they're all across the country.
Yes.
Podcasting is a great way for people with businesses to be able to promote themselves.
Yes. And that's
So,
where I come in.
I was just going to ask you about that. Let's talk about this.
So my role is, my official title is brand account manager. So what I do is I do my research and I look at my host of a show and look at their demographic. Where are they reaching? Who are they reaching? And then I will go after a business or a brand that would fit perfect within their show and reaching their viewers, listeners. So I say I have the most important job at Rogue because if I don't find it, nobody gets paid. So, and I love it because when on a local level, it's great because I get to meet business owners here in the WACO area. And I not only work within the Waco area, I work across the country. I don't know when the time frame is, but in a while I'll be traveling to other states, helping other podcasters grow their show, helping them getting brands to sponsor it. And it's fun. I love it. It's kind of like, they call me the closer. Like, go take the closer. If there was a show on television once called The Closer, you want to figure out the crime, bring the closer in. So I love it. I absolutely love it. And it's kind of cool. Like, let me give an example. You never know who's going to be a great brand on your show or sponsor. I met with a company last week called Posh Potty.
Yeah, Michael Wyatt.
Michael.
Michael has been a guest on this show.
I love Michael. And I was like, now that is genius. Because when you go to a festival or a concert, the last thing a woman wants to do is go to a porta potty.
Yeah, so tell people what a posh potty means. What is that?
A posh potty is a bougie porta potty is what it is. It's got electricity. I mean, it smells good. It looks like, I call it a Chip and Joanna Gaines bathroom. I mean, it's a bathroom on wheels that's bougie, basically.
Yeah, it's air conditioned.
Everything.
Running water.
Everything. Heater if it's freezing outside. And, if you're having a party, call Michael at Posh Potty, and they can just roll the potty on your property.
Michael had the Posh Potty here at the Baylor game.
Yes, he does the tailgate.
Yep.
Tailgate stuff.
Tailgate parties.
Yes. So anyways, you just never know what a unique business, thinking out of the box for sure. And it is a box. And so, you just never know. And so after talking with him, I realized that there are several podcast and streaming shows that we do that would be a perfect fit for him to sponsor and get the word out there to those who are listening and viewing within the area. It's great. I love it.
It's a very different world because on the streaming and on-demand podcasts, you can put links directly to the businesses in the notes.
You can do that. You can put a QR code up there that people can just like scan on. I mean, I love it.
So many different opportunities.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
The crazy thing is the cost of producing commercials today is so much less than it was when I was a kid. When I was in high school, I took a class, mass media class in high school. 1979, it took $250,000 to film a Wrigley's gum commercial. That's $250,000 $1979.
That's crazy, right?
Today, you could film that same commercial for between $10,000 and $20,000. So the cost of production is almost nothing. And then the distribution that you guys get on these 250 shows. Let's talk about this because it's national. It
is national. We're not, I call Waco, this is our corporate headquarters, and we're growing so fast. And we are all over, like I said, because, a podcast, just because you have a podcast here in Waco, somebody in Washington or your home state, Oregon, can listen, which is great, right? So there's no limit on who can hear or view, where back in the day, it was just if you want to know what's going on in your town or what's going on in this town, you got to be in that town, right?
With the change in the world from broadcasting to podcasting.
Yes.
To on-demand to streaming on so many different platforms. You mentioned TikTok,
yes,
YouTube,
yes,
we know LinkedIn,
yes,
Facebook. There's Twitch. There are people who are making
millions,
large incomes,
thousands of dollars. I know it's crazy
on Twitch playing games.
It's crazy. Well, so Rogue Media and we have a lot of departments, I should say. Not only can we help get your podcast out there, not only can we help stream you, we have the production team behind the scenes to do it, but we also can help you with your social media, your SEO. We're not just limited to this. We also have dealt with local high school sports, where we broadcast the local football games, the basketball games, the softball, baseball games. And we've also partnered with Champion Sports out of the Dallas Metroplex area, which is part of Dave Campbell's organization. And there's 27 high schools out there that we broadcast their games. So we're able to work with them out there in the Metroplex, plus the ones here. So Rogue is kind of a one-stop shop, I like to call it, because we could be appealed to all people on so many different levels.
There are a lot of family and friends that would like to watch their high school players in the game.
Right.
But they can't travel.
Right. We do on YouTube.
That's fabulous.
I know. You can watch Midway ISD here in town has their own, it's called Midway TV. You can log onto that and watch it. Connolly, China Spring, La Vega, Lorena, and soon Robinson next year. It'll all be on YouTube that you can just watch on your phone. It's crazy.
So here on the WACO Experience, an American story, Stephanie Beaty with Rogue Media, involved in a number of different things. Not only are you doing sales for advertising, recruiting talent, you are also a part of the podcasts.
If you ask me to be. Well, I'll do special appearances sometimes. In fact, I'll be on one of our podcasters, has to do with the middle class, but I will be on her show on Thursday about Christmas traditions, family traditions, talking about my family traditions. So it's just kind of funny to me, like, okay, I'm being asked to be on these podcasts. I don't even know what I contribute, because I'll start talking and just go off on a tangent, as you can tell. So it is, I don't have my own podcast as of yet, but it is in the works with a local sportscaster himself here in this area, and we worked at ESPN together. So hopefully by January we'll be up and running.
So if people want to get a hold of you, how do they get a hold of you? What's the best way?
You can call the Rogue office and leave a message. Our operations director and sales director, Matt Heaton, he's the one who answers the phone. Just leave a message for me, or you can email me at Stephanie@roguemedianetwork.com.
And the website then is roguemedianetwork.com. Network.com. So let's talk about the future.
Okay.
Because we talked about what's going on today at Rogue Media. We talked about the journey and how things have changed in the industry and where we're at. Where do you see things going in the future?
Well, I don't think that traditional radio or television will ever disappear. I do not. But I do think, and they are doing as of now, even some of the local radio stations and local television stations, you can actually download an app and stream the broadcast. You can, and if you miss a show, and here's the thing about streaming, a lot of times people aren't watching when it's live. The viewership comes afterwards, where people are binge watching because a lot of people work, right? So let me give an example. Zach Owen, we film him from 8 to 10 Monday through Friday, but all of his viewerships and listeners come binge watching. And it's the same. I think it's the same for even the local television stations, the radio stations here in town. I can give our sports stations a shout out because I was there. You can stream, and then you can go back and listen to the podcast of the daily shows. And that's where I think the world is going. And I do think that streaming is going to be bigger than ever. Let me give you an example. Thursday Night Football, NFL. You don't watch it on your broadcast stations, your local stations. You've got to have a subscription to Prime to watch the game. So I think it's leaning more that way, and it's just going to get bigger.
Yeah, it was interesting when Thursday Night Football started streaming on Prime.
Mm-hmm.
I believe the first time that it was only on
a streaming platform.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you could get the NFL networks or some of those things, but they were all broadcast games as well.
Mm-hmm.
But now it's on Amazon. This is how you get it. This is how you watch it. You watch Al Michaels.
It's who would have thought? I mean, I grew up loving sports. My dad played sports. My kids have played sports. And so every Sunday afternoon, we get home from church, you better believe the Dallas Cowboys were on, right? Hopefully you got it in your, where you were living, right? But when I grew up, I was like Cowboy and 49er fan. So back and forth. So, but now these days, it doesn't matter where you're at. You can just log on and watch it. It's crazy. The world has changed.
I've seen some fragmentation, though, in what's available. So you look at Disney Plus, streaming videos, and they're pulling their content, their catalog into their channel. Out of Prime or Hulu or Netflix. But I don't see that yet in podcasting.
Not yet, which is great, because then you as a podcaster can license and copyright your show and your material. And I always say, let's look at Seth Rogen. He does his own stuff. He's not signed with anybody. The Kelsey brothers, they kind of own their own material. And I think that's the way to go. One, to grow your subscribers for your show, because there's income to be made there. and through sponsorships and through brand sponsoring. And then, make sure you own it yourself. Don't sign an agreement with Disney Plus because they're going to take a percentage of your profits.
So if someone wanted to start a podcast
Mm-hmm.
and came to Rogue Media,
Mm-hmm.
what would that process look like? So a realtor, a lawyer, someone that's a professional and says, I want to be able to promote my business. I've got some expertise I want to share.
Mm-hmm.
What does it look like?
Well, we would set up an appointment with you to come in and we would help guide you and, find out what your goals, help you what is the podcast about? Who are you trying to reach? What are your goals for the podcast? What are you going to name the podcast? And we pretty much help you decide, or if you already know, help navigate what that would look like for you. Do you want to be a weekly podcast? Do you want to be a daily podcast? And then we help, there's different ways we can if you want to be just a listener, or if you want us to also be view you on YouTube, we can help you in that area too. And we just help distribute it for you.
You guys are in the Alico building.
Yes, we are.
The historic Alico building.
It's wild.
One floor from the very top.
I love it. I can actually look out my office window and look all over Waco.
Let's talk about Rogue Media Studios.
Okay.
And the facility and the equipment that you guys have there.
We have state-of-the-art equipment. I can't actually tell you what it's called because that's not my expertise area, but we have 3 studios there. You can call us. Like I said, we'll meet with you. You can book the studio if it's not already booked. We film Pete Souza show there Monday through Friday. If he's on the road with ESPN, we'll record him from wherever he's at. If he's in his hotel room, wherever he's at. Matt Mosley is recorded out of Dallas, so you don't necessarily have to be here in Waco for us to stream you, record you. So keep that in mind. We have, like I said, we have 3 studios, top of the line, and you'd be surprised. I didn't know this. Just like in television, the studios aren't that big, but they look big, right? So it's kind of cool. But yeah, 21st floor. It's kind of amazing.
You talk to a lot of individuals.
Mm-hmm.
You've talked to a lot of businesses. You've been here in Waco in Central Texas for 15 years.
15 years.
Tell us about what you see in the future.
I love Waco in Central Texas. It is growing. I think there's an opportunity here for anybody, for a small business owner, for a family, even for, as I call it, your senior years. There's always something here for you. And the city is just growing. And I'm not meaning just here in McLennan County, but even down in Bell County. And let's not forget our brothers and sisters down there. And it's great. Cost of living, I think, isn't too far gone yet, like California. No offense, Californians.
Oh, you're not kidding. I've got family there.
Do too.
And they pay double what we pay for gas.
I know. It's crazy, right? The future of Central Texas is just growing, and I love it because it still has a small town feel to me. You don't meet a stranger here, and the community is supportive of each other, which we were talking about nonprofits earlier in the show, and that's great because here in this community, people show up. They show up, and I call it they show up and they show out, right? They love their brothers and sisters, and so it's a great community. It's growing. If you're visiting, go find a house and move here. And if you want a podcast, give me a call.
The WACO Experience, An American Story, is a production of D. Scott Smith Company, all rights reserved. Thank you for listening.